Hello, traders. This is Rob again. We want to talk about trade management in supply and demand bot. We talked about the filters in detail, how you can filter out the noises and then add more and more filters to find a better signals and to place a trade. Basically, filters are meant to take every single signal that comes into the bot and then applying it to a different filter criteria and then decide whether to ignore the signal or to place a trade. Filters just a decision making system to either to approve or disapprove the signals. But once you are in the trade, that's very critical in terms of how you're going to manage a trade. Once you are in the trade, it starts with where I'm going to place a stop loss, where I'm going to place the target. And then once you are in the initial stop loss and initial target, the next question is when the market moves either in your direction or opposite your direction, how you going to move the stop losses, where you're going to exit. All those things can be managed by the trade management. Let's start with stop loss and target initially. If you go to supply and demand trading bar, the section where we have trade management, this is what we're talking about. Let's start with trade size. As you know, it's a contract. How many contracts you want to trade? Right below that, just stop loss mode. Where do you want to place your stop loss for every single trade decided by this particular setting? We have two options. One, fixed, other one, supply and demand. As you know, fixed means you can fix stop loss ticks. If you choose fixed, you can mention whatever you want. I always want for every single trade, I want like 10 ticks or 20 ticks. If you keep it this way, for every trade that the bot takes, you are forcing the bot to take only 10 ticks, irrespective of where the sellers are, irrespective of where the buyers are. You are forcing the bot to take 10 ticks below your trade entry price. Okay, sometimes it's good. I think based on if you are back testing it, if you find a number that works, great. But most of the time, we do advise you supply and demand. The reason is that we have the zones created most of the time. The market turns back, touches the zone, and then reverse it back. So I think we talked about this in almost in every webinar. Where to place your stop in supply and demand mode, where to place your target. Let's go back to the screen for a second. Let's say we got the signal here. On the next bar we are going to decide the trade. Now let's say we decided to place a trade based on the filter criteria, because we're not going to talk about filters today, we're going to talk about the trade management. If we are entering here your stop loss, if you choose supply and demand mode, your stop loss will be below the demand. But I mentioned below the demand, but how much below? Is it right on the bottom of the zone, or like one tick, two tick, three tick? How far? Because this is you need to decide how much volatility is in the market right now. If it is flat market, normal days, I think a couple of one tick should be enough. Sometimes I do pick two or three ticks based on how much volatility in the market. Let's say if you go back to the bottom one more time, this option right here, if you choose stop loss mode as supply demand, then you have one more option. Okay, where do you want to place the stop? Do you want to place right on the zone, or where do you want? So here is zone stop loss ticks to add. Since I have three right here, it means if you enter long here based on this signal right here, if you enter the long, it will take the stop three ticks from here. One, two, three ticks. Stop will be right here. Okay, stop will be right here. Where will the target go? If you choose supply and demand target, that means above this level, where is the nearest resistance? Right here. This is where the nearest resistance. Again, you can choose on the target side. How am I going to put the target right on the end of the zone, or one tick below, or two tick below? Same way as a stop loss. We can decide how close we can pay. Let's go back how to do that. If you choose stop loss supply and demand mode, This will tell you how close you want to have the ticks. Same way, we have the take profit mode. Let's talk about the supply and demand. If you pick take profit mode as supply and demand, you will see one more option, zone tick, how much you want to add. Since I had 2 here, I said 3 here. 2 ticks to add on the target side, 3 ticks to add on the stop loss side. What does that mean? In this trade, I'm going to place a stop 3 ticks below here. On the same trade, I'm going to place the target 2 ticks below the nearest resistance, nearest supply zone. That is what these two settings mean. All right. We talked about this. If this setting is only applicable if you choose fixed. If you choose supply and demand, you need to enter the number here. If you choose fixed, you need to enter the number here. So when you choose fixed, this one doesn't matter. When you choose supply and demand, this one doesn't matter. Just to be aware. Okay. Um, I wanted to also cover about the next setting. Let's say, uh, let's also go back here. Even though supply and demand is right here, when the market moves, we say mode is supply and demand. When the market moves, let's say you have stop loss right here, but when the market moves, there's one more signal. That means we have one more demand here. That means we don't have to keep the stop loss here anymore. We'll move the stop loss, bot will move the stop loss from here to this zone. Since we had 3 ticks below this zone, once we have the new zone, it'll move the stop right here again, same 3 ticks below. Okay, market moves, market moves. Look at this one right here. If I had just one tick or a zero tick, I could have get stopped out. Do you see this one? The price came in just now, went one tick below, and then went back up. This is exactly why you need to make sure you place your stop couple of ticks below the zone. In this case, if you had one, you got stopped out right here. You're done and the trade. So if we since we have three, I think our stop loss is almost here. All right, the market moves again. Market moves till the stop loss is right here, right here. For this bar is right here. For this bar it's right here. Now we have one more zone here. What will happen to stop loss now? It previously it was before here. Now it's here, here, here. Now since we have the new demand created, bot will move the stop loss from here to here. And then what? When the market progresses, there is one more zone. Stop loss will move from here to here. That means we are going to move the stop loss as the market moves. We're going to trace every single zone, demand zone, since we are in the long trade, just same way, 3 ticks below here, 3 ticks below here, until we get stopped out in exit. Okay, so understand what is supply demand based stop loss. There's one more thing you can ask. It's okay, but initially I don't want to take how much ticks is this? I think it's almost like 25 30 ticks. That's a lot of ticks. Is it possible initially when I place the trade, can I force the bot to like only take 20 ticks or 18 ticks only initially, but when the market moves, then you can move accordingly below the zones. This way it's safer, but I don't want it to have initial this huge risk. Sure, you can do that. What you're telling me is that initially I want to force the bot to the fixed stop loss, 15 ticks, 20 ticks. But when the market moves, I want to use the supply and demand based stop loss. How come you do that? So in this case, I'm going to choose a stop loss made as supply and demand because I want to move the stop loss based on supply and demand zones. But that's almost certain. Force the stop loss as force fixed stop loss as maximum stop loss. That means if I check this, that means initial stop will be what are the number you enter. Doesn't matter how far the zones are, bot will force initially 20 ticks from entry trade. Once the market moves, then it will go back to supply and demand based. Maybe a little bit confusing in the initially, but once you start playing around, you will know more. We don't recommend initially, but if you are able to find one number that works, feel free. But only if you choose uh, this particular setting right here. If you choose this one, when you place the trade initially, it will be 20 tick stop loss. But even though since you chose supply and demand, it won't stay here all the time. As the market moves, supply stop loss is going to move automatically uh, below each zone, as we said, 3 ticks below. All right, we covered this. We covered this. There is one more way to exit the trade because that's very powerful in my perspective. Most of the time, uh, we don't have to wait till the market completely reversed, or like we don't know when the market is trending. We don't want to exit trade too early. Let's wait till the trend changes. Okay, when I say wait till the trend changes, that's why order flow zones comes in picture. Let's say you are I think this is not a good example, but let me find a better example for this one. Okay, this is a better example. Let's say you are entering a short trade right here. That means right from since you enter the trade, look at the order flow zones bar color, either red or yellow, all the way down, all the way down. This way, if I choose now, I have one more option in the target side. Either I can choose fixed, as you know what is fixed mean. You know what is supply and demand mean. It's gonna move the target based on the supply and demand levels, nearest levels. If I choose run, it means there is no target. Bot is not going to place a target at all. It'll have the trade. Once you enter the trade, you'll have the stop loss below the trade, but there won't be any target. Why? Because when you are in the trade, when there is no target, you have just stop loss. All your plan is to, let's say in this trade, I enter this trade right here. This is my entry price because that's a bar right after the signal. I'm entering right here. My stop loss will be a couple of the three ticks above this zone. That means it'll be here all the time. When the market moves, market moves. I think better way to exit is when the trend stops. How can it know when the trend stops? Order flow zones. Order flow zones is going to print as long if you are entering short, you will as long as you see red, you will be staying in the trade. Staying in the trade. Even it's yellow, you're gonna stay in the trade because yellow means indecisive, not a trend changed yet. But once you see the opposite trend, blue, this is where bot is going to exit. How can we do that? If we go back to here, close trade on order flow zone trend change. This way, if you combination of target profit mode as a run and this one, that means there will be no target set. You will just wait till the trend changed. If you are in the short trade, until you see first blue candle. If you are in the long trade, you will be waiting until you see the first red candle. Just opposite trend. All right, same way. We talked about this. We talked about the fixed one. Okay. Final setting in the trade management is a break even. What is a break even? Have you ever wondered, like, when you are in a trade, when the market moves up? Let me find a good example for that one. All right. Um, okay, I think let's consider this one. Let's say if you're entering along, if you have the stop loss right here, market moves and then come back and hit you stop loss right here. If you do not exit, if you do not change anything, break even is you can tell the bot I entered the trade here. Moment from my entry price, if the price went above like 10 ticks or 12 ticks, move my stop loss from below. Don't forget this is where I entered. This is where I entered. My stop loss was here. My price is moving in my direction, in my favor, going up. I don't want to keep my stop loss here. I want to move. I'm telling the bot to move the stop loss from here immediately to just above my trade price, just above my trade entry price. What does it mean? Since the market is going up already, I moved, if the bot moves from stop loss from here, just one tick or two tick above the entry price, I'm just breaking even at this point. Given the market go and then come back out, hit my stop loss. Where is my stop loss? My stop loss is above my trade entry. I'll be covering the commission. I won't be any. I'll not be at loss. This is how can you do apply this particular setting right here. If you choose enable this, enable the break even fast, and then say fixed. I think we had two options. Fixed in the sense moment it reaches 8 ticks, 8 tick, if the current prices reach 8 ticks above my trade into price, move my stop loss one tick above my trade entry. Let's say, what does this mean now? Here, what I said is if the trade price, current trade price is goes up above 12 ticks above my trade entry price, move my stop loss 3 ticks above my trade entry. That means not only I'm covering my commission, I'm also having two additional ticks of profit. So you can use this setting if you wanted to avoid um, any reversal in the market. But most of the times, I would rather still prefer to keep the stop loss based on supply and demand, because if you force the bot to move it to the break even, that stop could be anywhere, right? I think it's not going to be near supply, not going to be near demand. It could be anywhere. It could get you will be missing something, even though it's a good run ahead. You're going to get stopped out. But you will see moment you compare with the internet option, you can decide. One more, I think I'm done with covering the trade management, but I wanted to share you one more information. We added a second filter. Now we have two filters on the trend, MTA1 and then MTA2. Why? Because when I try to enter the trade, it's we have seen this is a request from one of the trader. I think it's Joshua. The request was, let's say the market is coming down, coming down, coming down, and then going up. Let's say the long signal here. Should we take the signal or not? How? I want to see the short term trend. What is the short term trend? And then long term trend also. I want to check the two different trends so that both in the same direction. Because sometimes when the market is going down, if you look at the 5 minute and then place the trade, that means what? In the last 1 minute, you could be reversing as well. So just to make sure, you can now we have ability to check any short term and also long term. This way we can confirm the trend. In this case, the short term could be 2 minute. I have minute and then 2 minutes. Long term in this setting is 10 minutes. You can have, since I'm trading in 1 minute, I can have just one, meaning I want to check the trend now on the 1 minute, and also I want to check the trend on 5 minutes. Not only minutes, you can also choose anything. Take volume, range. The idea is always trade with the trend. Do not trade against the trend. That's very much important. I think I covered everything about filters and then trade management. If you have any questions, please send me an email at info@bicycleglobal.com. I'll be happy to answer or add another video. Thank you, guys.